Hello again, Aquarius, and happy birthday to all of you. So before we begin your reading, I have two cards here for you. And what you pulled here is a little difficult. So from Le Vampire, you pulled Seduction, Allure, Desire, and Manipulation. This card is saying that you will now be able to discern much more clearly between people who are healthy for you and people who you would do well to avoid. This is about not feeling guilty for saying no to certain attractive advances, and about being able to say no to those who want to use you, basically. And then when you look at that on top of acceptance, I feel like maybe, you may be giving into a seductive situation to feel more accepted. So acceptance is about new ways of seeing yourself and embracing your imperfection. There may be a feeling of being incomplete or selling yourself short, but truly here you need to embrace who you are, and certainly don't let anybody use you, especially, if you're looking for acceptance. This definitely isn't the way to do it. Okay, Aquarius, here is the energy coming through. So very nice. I like seeing that. Seeing that as a signifier is saying that whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to be applauded for the hard work that you've done. The Six of Wands is the victory card. And again, there's still more work to do here, but this is a moment to celebrate. And again, you're being applauded for what you've done. And in the past, so the Two of Swords. Now, looking at that with seduction, I can understand why you might not want to see the situation for what it is. So the Two of Swords is blinding yourself to a situation and not being able to make a clear decision. And it's also about guarding yourself emotionally. And it's important here to take the blindfold off, see the situation for what it is, and make that decision. But when you do, you need to act quickly. You cannot hesitate, because if you do, you just end up being stuck, not seeing or not wanting to see what's going on around you. Very nice. So in the present, you have the strength to deal with whatever is going on here that you're not wanting to see. Strength is all about having that inner strength and the courage to face the challenges that are in front of you. And these two are perfect. I like seeing that. I like seeing strength, because even though you may feel like you may be looking at your imperfections a little bit too closely, and I think there's this need for accepting who you are and accepting that you are perfect the way that you are, and embrace your flaws and imperfections. Future conditions. So the Page of Cups. Now seeing that and seeing the Two of Swords, it's like, and with seduction, yeah, there may be some advances going on, but I think you need to deal with how you're feeling about yourself first before you make any decisions here, which is why the Two of Swords is sitting there. So the Page of Cups is a messenger of love and romance. It's also about creative opportunities as well. Now, there may be these messages coming through to you involving some love and romance, but I feel like there needs to be acceptance. That's why it shows up, right? And you definitely have the strength to see your imperfections and go, you know what, that's okay. I'm perfect the way that I am. But I worry between these two and seduction showing up. The best path to follow, yeah. So the Four of Swords is saying that there needs to be a reflective moment. So the Four of Swords is about taking a break. This is about being in a meditative period and reflecting on your actions. So yeah, definitely if you're having some advances right now, it's time to really think about what you're going to do before you do it. So definitely take that moment to meditate. Meditate on, what is being offered to you here, what messages are coming through, and then not only that, but the way that you view yourself as well. And in your environment, and it's no wonder. So The Five of Swords, again, to me is the bullshit card. This is bullshit conflict. This is a no-win situation. And there is no truth here. This is all ego. And seeing that in your environment is saying that there's definitely some conflict going on. But I almost feel like it's internal for you. I don't feel like it's anybody in particular that's causing this. I feel like maybe the messages that are coming through here are causing this conflict, this mental conflict for yourself, which is why the Four of Swords is sitting there saying, no, we need to take a minute to really think about things. And with the Two of Swords, yeah, you know, it's like you're not wanting to make a decision here, but you have the inner strength to do this. But with the Six of Wands sitting there, I feel like, you know, you're going to do the right thing. But more than that, you will be applauded for it. Oh, and your hopes and your fears. Now, looking at these two, it's like she sent the messenger out and it's causing this conflict for you. And it's like, what do I do here? So the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups can represent a water sign. And this is somebody who is emotionally intuitive. And the difference between her and the King is that the King is emotionally wise and won't let himself get caught up in emotional problems involving others. She will. Now, I think what's happening here is that the messages that she's sending is creating this conflict. And I wonder, you know, if it's because you know something about her. Like, wait a minute here. You're not wanting to see what she's sending through to you with this messenger. And you're taking this moment to really think about what is really going on here. What is really being offered here? I mean, you know, for sure this could be somebody that is causing some bullshit arguments, but I really feel like she sent her messenger out. And it's like, but why? Oh, and the outcome, the Magician. Wow, Aquarius. This one's something else. I mean, looking at it, you know, just looking at these three, I feel like, you know, whatever it is that you're working toward is going to be really good. I mean, there's definitely some passion, some fire behind it, you know, and again, it's like you're being recognized for the work that you're doing. In the Magician, it's something big. Now, he is pulling from the divine source and he's bringing it down to earth. Everything before it manifests starts with a thought. And that's what the Magician represents here. So you're definitely wanting to create something here, but it's like, what is it that you're wanting to create? What is it that you want to create? Because, you know, again, with the Two of Swords, it's like there needs to be a clear decision made on the messages that this person is sending through to you. And it's like you're going to take a minute here to really reflect on that. Because if this person is sending these messages and they may have also caused this conflict in your environment, you know, whether it's arguments with you or if it's because of the messages that they're sending through to you, it's like, you know, you're taking a minute to really look at it before you make any decision, which, you know, makes sense. But you know, I really feel like here it's going to lead to something positive. There's this feeling here that, you know, I don't think that this queen is trying to cause this conflict. I don't think that that's the intention. You know, I almost feel like looking at her that maybe she might have done that for you before. And now the messages coming through from her are like, or whoever this person is, are completely different than what you're used to, you know, which is why you're like needing to look at it first. But when you look at it this way, there's potential here. Now, this could also be somebody that you're with right now who's trying to make amends for this that's lingering in your environment. This bullshit conflict, you know? So I would say that, I mean, looking at it to me, you know, if you're single, I would really be careful about any kind of, you know, messages of, seduction or attraction or whatever that are coming through, because I feel like it's not worthy of you. And I feel like, there may be a mistake made, because there's this feeling of unworthiness, like not really accepting yourself, and I mean, I can relate to it, because a lot of times we will seek acceptance through sex with other people. It happens, and that's what happens when you're dealing with feelings like this. I can understand that. So I feel like, for some of you, that may be the message if you're single, when you're looking at getting involved with somebody in that way, I would really think about it before you do it. Now, on the other hand, if you're with somebody, sex is not an I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. I almost feel like this person is just like, oh, let's just sleep together and everything will be fine. And you're like, no, wait a minute. There's other stuff going on here that needs to be dealt with. But there's like this potential here to have like a strengthening bond and correct the issues that are going on here. I mean, it's almost like you're trying to create something better out of this with this person here. I like it, Aquarius. It's complicated and it's different. And I definitely feel like you have a water sign around you right now that's sending these messages to you that may be conflicting for you. And there's this need to really think about it first before you make any decisions. But the Magician pulling out, I feel like there's potential here, especially with the Six of Wands, to have a meaningful relationship that isn't based around sex, or the strengthening of a relationship that you may be in right now. All right, Aquarius, we are going to look at Whispers of Love to see what you can do to create meaningful love in your life. So what are the messages for Aquarius? Didn't have to shuffle too far. Be authentic to who you are. You are asked to be real and true pertaining to who you are and how you feel. I love it. And then on top of that, slow down. Yes. If you're being offered these advances, it's time to slow down, which is why the Four of Swords is there. Take a minute to think about it before you do anything that you might regret. That's what I feel like looking at it. Okay, Aquarius. One more message for Aquarius. Oh, and you dropped one. Oh. The union of hearts. There is a connection of love that defies explanation. So, wow, Aquarius, this person may be more important than what you're feeling like right now. I mean, even if you're single and you come across this person, it's like there may be this immediate attraction there. And then if you're with somebody, you are definitely with somebody very special to you. Very special. But I feel like, if you're dealing with some conflict in a relationship right now, it's time to slow down, really think about things, but be true to who you are. Again, sex is not an I'm sorry. That's not an apology. That doesn't work. So don't allow that to be, what this person uses to fix whatever conflict may be going on. I just feel like that needs to be said. But, definitely be true to who you are and how you feel. Take a minute to think about things. And I feel like the person that is around you right now may be really very important in your life. Okay, Aquarius, so this one's a little different. And I feel like looking at this, especially with what you pulled in the Oracle cards, that whoever this person is here, there may be a feeling of manipulation going on. I don't know, I kind of get that feeling here. And I feel like there's a need to accept yourself for who you are, accept your flaws and your imperfections, because truly you are a beautiful person. And don't get caught up in what's being offered here, because I feel like it's going to create some conflict. This one's different. You definitely have the strength to deal with whatever challenges you're facing, for sure. But there's this need here to open your eyes and see the situation for what it is. If this person is trying to manipulate you into sexual advances, definitely there's this need to take a reflective moment first before you jump into anything. I just feel like that needs to be said. Now, on the other hand here, if this is a relationship that you're in, I feel like maybe this person is trying to make amends for whatever conflict may have been created. And I feel that way seeing the Magician. Now, I don't like to see the Magician in reverse because, again, it speaks about manipulation. But I feel like there's potential here between these two to definitely have a meaningful relationship if you're single, or the strengthening of a relationship that you're already in, which with strength showing up is perfect. But whatever is going on, you need to open your eyes to the situation, because this being in your environment is no good. That conflict needs to be gone, because when you look at what you pulled with Whispers of Love, I feel like this is a very important person to you. This may be one of those once-in-a-lifetime unions for you. If you're single, I feel like you're going to come across this person. And if you're with somebody, this is definitely a very important union to you right now. But there is a need to slow down and, really think about, the conflict that's going on. I mean, yeah, definitely take that meditative period, because I feel like it's going to open you up here to where you're able to see the situation for what it is. If this person is trying to manipulate you, if they're really trying to strengthen the bond that you have, you definitely need to slow down, but be true to yourself and your feelings, and make sure that you let this person know exactly how you feel.